Sha Tin coming up on Sunday in Hong Kong with another 10-race program. Welcome to Racing to Win, where we're going to preview it for you all right here on the show. Joined in the studio to check out what's going on this weekend by Paul Luddy and Tom Wooden. Tom, what are some of the highlights?
We've got a Class 2 race, Mark, as the main event coming up as race number 7, part of CUHK Race Day, and Voyage Samurai lines up there. And he could get an easy lead off the front. It might be tough to beat, but generally a mixture of C3, 4 and 5 races.
Paul Luddy joins us also. Paul, can you tempt us with some jackpots?
Yeah, there's a couple of good ones there. 5 million going into the triple trio, so that should get over the 10 million mark. And also 1.5 million going into that last double trio, the 5th double trio, last couple of races there. So that should get up over the 10 million mark as well. So if you do like those bets. Now, they're always competitive, those last 2 races. So if you do manage to get it, you'll be well rewarded.
Absolutely. If you got the triple trio on Wednesday, it was upwards of $5 million too. So that's from last Wednesday, and you'll need to focus on the last couple for the 6 up this week. Now, the meeting details for Sunday. It's an earlier start because we are taking a race from Japan. 10 on the B+2, meeting 60 we're up to. 12:45 the first, and the 2 Class 3s over the 14 and 1600 metres is the focus of the preview, along with a few other little tidbits on the show today. And we start, Tom, with a look at the trainers' premiership, and John Size, well, he was miles off the pace not that long ago, and he's now not miles in front, but has a little buffer here.
He does. He's about 6 in front of David Hayes at the moment. But look at John Size across first, second, third, 45 right across those 3 categories. He's tipped the 100 million in stakes. He's got a full stable of 70, and by my dead reckoning, he's got about 8 to 10 horses that are rated sort of 52 that haven't stepped out yet. David Hayes sitting on 39. He's got a stable at the moment of 69, and he's probably got sort of 6 to 8 52 rated horses in the stable. And Mark Newnham, Paul, still making some good inroads down there as well.
He's had a great season, hasn't he? You can see his stats there as well, and some good prize money there.
We're going to stay on the trainer focus right now. You can see who it is behind us. Talking with Fen is back on the Hong Kong Jockey Club YouTube page for another season. And Fen had a catch up with David Eustace and began by asking David where the love for Hong Kong racing came from.
It probably all started with my uncle, David Orton, who trained here as my mother's brother. He was here for 20 years. I was only a child, but there was always a bit of a fascination with it. You know, we used to wait for the fax machine to wear away, and results come through on fax as to whether there was a winner or a loser. And
God, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, which was a long time ago, but I do remember that. Yeah. And you know, I do remember some big winners, and you know, Cape of Good Hope was the horse really at the end of David's career, then winning, you know, Royal Ascot at York. You know, was the sort of, crowning moment, I suppose.
Yeah.
And he was owned by the Carstairs, who are a great family in Hong Kong and had horses with mum and dad in England as well. So that was probably the start. And then Dad had a good sprinter called War Artist, who raced here. And so I came over on that trip. I was 19, and Chloe, who rode him every day, looked after him, and I was a hanger-on, really.
Really?
But had a great time, obviously, and great experience, and that was probably the the start of, at the time I was 19 and wanted to train, and so it was always sort of an idea in the back of my mind.
So talk about you as a young lad now, and you talked about when you came here when you were 19, I believe you said.
Yeah.
So when you were young, was horse racing always something you wanted? I know your parents were kind of hoping you'd probably go in a different direction. But you as a little boy, is that something you always dreamed of?
Yeah, honestly, yes. You know, it wasn't anything else. I loved, we both loved being in the stable. We used to ride a pony out with the horses every morning when we were just about big enough. We rode race horses and used to get ran off with every morning.
Oh, that's incredible.
But it was very good character building. I mean, Dad was reasonably careful, but knew that it would sort of toughen us up a bit as well. And yeah, I mean, we both sort of flirted with uni, but didn't really.
No.
And I mean, I really wanted to be a jockey, but and spent most afternoons sort of riding finishes on the back of the sofa.
Oh, really?
But I was not good enough, frankly.
No.
I was never going to be light enough to be a flat jockey, but I didn't have the ability anyway. but I love both flat and jumps, but it was probably always going to be flat. But we both rode in amateur races to a very low level. So we've ended up doing the same thing, took slightly different paths, but both of us have done the same thing, travelled abroad, worked for trainers around the world. Harry worked in Australia and America for great trainers, and we've both been fortunate in that way to learn off the best.
That's just a small piece of the episode with David Eustace, and Fen catches up with all sorts of people from racing in Hong Kong. A reminder, jump on the Hong Kong Jockey Club YouTube page to see the full episode and also all of the others as they are released. But Paul, talking of David Eustace, 20 wins in his first season, a stack of placings, and just doing a great job.
Yeah, he is. A really good first season for him. He's only 32, of course, David, so he's got a massive career in front of him. He's had the advantage where he's sort of been here and sort of brought horses from overseas here to Hong Kong, and he's worked in the UK and he's worked in Australia, so he can pick up the styles of both. So he's got a really good sort of advantage there, I thought.
And you look at around the table where he sits, he's only had 201 runners, but trainers below him have had 250, 300, and just above him 300 and 400. So from only 201 runners, he's done a terrific job.
His runners for Sunday, Tom, are there a winner or two perhaps amongst these horses also?
Well, you can't knock the form that Regency Happy stars in. He obviously was 3 wide, no cover, and still won last start. Dazzling Fit looks ready to go in the third. To Good Luck Babes drawn well again for a good showing, up to 1600 as well. You've got Sea Sapphire there, who probably needs to improve a little bit. Savvy Warrior's a newcomer. Celestial Patch riding together with a lightweight, maybe not without a chance. And Glorious Success, Paul, hasn't been far away.
Yeah, I reckon his best chances are early in those first 3. I think are really good chances coming into this.
Dazzling Fit especially.
Yeah, I do like him. Yeah,
he's had a quiet trial since his first start too. But on to race number 9 we go now. And this is a Class 3 over the 1400 metres, and the Boombox has drawn a gate. And Brilliant Express is a 2-time course and distance winner. Superb Boys led all of the way to win a trial since we last saw him. Turin Star Spangled, he's first up for some time. Hasn't raced since November. He's had 6 trials in the 5 months off. 80 light years placed on a wet track last time. Igor Stravinsky was a horse raced under the same name by Aidan O'Brien. Went over the 1400 at Leopardstown. Fortunate Son has the blinkers going on. Lost Child's a 3-time course and distance winner. And then David Eustace does have the 13 in the race, riding together with Matthew Chadwick on board. He'll get a nice run riding together, Paul, behind Superb Boy.
Yeah, I think I'd be surprised Superb Boy doesn't lead. He did trial really well recently, this horse. Riding together with that lightweight barrier 3, should be able to get it right there. Turin Star Spangled, as you mentioned, has had plenty of work leading into his run. Keithy, he likes to go forward, but he's drawn wide, so he might just have to work. Same as 80 light years, he went forward at his last start. The Boombox, from that better draw, I think is going to be a lot closer in the run.
He's done a great job, Tom, from bad draws, the Boombox. He won his first 3. He's gone down here running 3rd, but he went down more than swinging. Big weight again this week, but is he the horse to beat?
I think he still is, and that was only his first start, going from 12 to 1400 metres last time out as well, when he was a beaten favourite here. Behind the in-form Armour War Eagle, Magnificent Nine's obviously been in good form as well. There was a little bit of pushing and shoving late in the race. They had a little look at it in the steward's room, but nothing came of it. But I still think, Paul, with Zach Purton on board, a low gate, he's the one to beat. Yeah,
look, he does. He's going to be so short in the market, though, especially with Zach on from a low draw. So, look, I've got one at a price to beat him, but I think he is the one to beat.
OK, so here's what he's done, Paul. Apart from win that other start that we just saw, he's 3 from 4.
Yeah, yes, and as you mentioned, they're all low, bad draws as well. 13, 10, 11, 8, and now he's come into barrier 2. So, look, he's definitely the one to beat, but he's not going to be a price.
Brilliant Express, Tom, is our next one. He had no luck here. He's come a long way, this horse. It took him a little while to win his first race, then he's gone back to back, and he sat wide in a pretty good field here, and he's run 4th.
Yeah, beaten by the in-form Patch of Cosmo here as well, was Brilliant Express, and he was wide, no cover, up on the speed, and only really tired late. So all things considering, it was a pretty good run. He's been back to Chung Fa and trialled since from a low draw as well. Paul Barrier, number 6. He's got to be a top 4 chance, surely.
Yeah, I've got him in for sure. And this is a mile, so he goes back to the 1400, and that's where his wins have been. So I think that's ideal as well for him.
And that's a good push for Brilliant Express, Paul. This is Keefe and 80 light years, both placing and both returning to form last time. The horse that beats him, Janu Pride, has been racing extremely well. Are you putting these performances down to the rain-affected track?
Yeah, obviously that did help. The other thing with these two, they're both drawn wide. 80 Light Years has drawn 13 and Keithy has drawn 10. So they'll need luck. They had all the favours here. So, look, I didn't put them in.
Format of the race is obviously good with Kaholo Angel winning on Wednesday night, but there was zero support in the market for 80 Light Years. He was 131 to 1. Did win this day last year, but it was 1,200 metres, and you never know what you're going to get with Keefe. Runs a series of bad races, and all of a sudden comes back to form again.
Yeah, he's very, very up and down is Keefe. We're heading up to Chungfa for this trial. And now Tom with Superb Boy leading all of the way in this, and the other horse is Brilliant Express, a typical quiet John-sized trial from him.
Yeah, so he's been freshened coming into this Superb Boy, not seen since the back end of February behind Brilliant Express, where he was beaten 8 3/4 in this trial, up on the pace, leading and won easily, and his last winning mark was 73, Paul, so he's off about that rating now, which sees him within a good chance, I think.
Yeah, I think he can win, actually. This is the one I'm going to go with, Superb Boy. He's been big prices all season. This season, he'll probably be a little bit shorter coming into this, but off the back of that trial. But I thought it was really good. It showed the freshen up seems to have done him well. And he did run really well at the start of the season, running a good second.
And front-running Ferraris on board.
Yeah, exactly. And he can rate him well. He's a good fresh horse. He's actually won twice fresh in the past, this one.
This horse has won fresh in the past too. Paul Turin Star Spangled. He should be fit. As mentioned, 6 trials since we last saw him.
Yeah, look, the only query, I had a couple of looks at him, but the thing with him is all his form's over 1,600 and he's kicking off here over 14. So I just wondered if it's going to be a little bit too sharp for him. Look, he does run well fresh. He's another horse that has won fresh in the past, but when he did win fresh, it was over 16.
Obviously something sort of amiss with him last time out. They reported an abnormal breathing noise, but nothing too much wrong with the trial, really, behind Gracious Express, who's engaged on the program too.
He is indeed. So you're going for the boombox to be silenced.
Well, I'm going to put him in second. Obviously, he's the one to beat, but he's going to be he'll be well into odds on. I've got no doubt whatsoever. So Superb Boy, you might get a little bit of a price about him. As Tom said, he's won off a similar rating and has run second of 84 before. Boombox here. Oreo should be a good price as well. The 14 looks good for him, and Brilliant Express. 3, 1, 12 and 2.
Around the top 3 for this race, the 9th event on the program, the Boombox, definitely the horse to beat with the form that he's in at the moment for Chris. So Zach Purton on board, Brilliant Express, Superb Boy. Paul made a strong case for him, and he's had a wee freshen up leading into this. And my roughie I'm going to throw into the race is Riding Together, who's eligible for Class 4, low draw, up on the speed last start, outside the leader. Comes out of the Honglot Golf race last time out. We know how well he's going at the moment. So that was his best run last start, Riding Together, 1, 2, 3 and 13.
And that's the end of the first part of Racing to Win. It's break time. We'll come back with a whole lot more on the other side of this. Welcome back to Racing to Win, where our focus is Sha Tin on Sunday. Before we get to race number 10, Paul, it's out of the break. It's a last run reminder, and you've got Electric.
Yeah, Flash Current was a very good run from this horse. He'd won the start previous to that. He gets out, he's always a little bit slow away. Not too bad, he wasn't the last one out, but he has to go back. And if you can see the times here, they ran 1.24 seconds slower than standard for that first 800 metres. So he had it all to do in front of him because it was just a sprint home. But he made eye-catching ground down the outside and he wasn't too far away at all. The horse that won this race is a rival as well as Cavani, and the horse that ran second has actually failed since. So I thought of this one, Flash Current was probably the best run in the race under the circumstances. You can see him making out that really good ground late. Quite like him in race 5.
You can hear also from Harry Bentley in the race-by-race preview on the website, also hkjc.com. But the last run reminder, race 5, number 2, Flash Current on Sunday. Race number 10, good field this. It's a Class 3 over the 1,600 metres. Gorgon has the pacifiers off and the crossover noseband going on. Torbjorn Prince on the class drop. Starmac, he goes up in trip. Best Peach, he comes back in trip. Luck is Back has won a trial since we last saw him. Ching's a 5-time course and distance winner. Dragon Joy has a better draw. Sky Jewellery, second run in this grade. He ran second at his first go when green. Flying Luck, a last start winner coming up in class. Morgan Success, he was scratched on the 19th with acute dermatitis. The Absolute lost a rider in a trial since he last ran, and solid wins running off a rating of 61. So a bit of action towards the bottom of the book there in recent weeks for a few of them, Paul. But onto the speed map, and it's Torbjorn Prince.
He looks the only leader in the race. He should be able to get across over the 1,600 metres without any issues. Like his back has gone forward on his all-weather runs, and he's drawn the inside draw, barrier number 1, Glorious Success. Has the opportunity to go forward. I think Ching can get himself into a nice position, and Dragon Joy has finally got a barrier draw, so he can be a lot closer. The likely favourite in the race, he will be favourite, won't he? Sky Jewellery should be midfield, I think.
And that better barrier draw should make Matthew Poon a happy man aboard Dragon Joy. Matthew, you must have been happy when the draw came out and it said number 2 next to Dragon Joy.
Well, of course, barrier 2, it helps a lot. Like last 2 times I rode him, draw outside, this time draw inside, I think will make some difference.
Might you ride him a little bit closer now you've got the barrier to work with?
I think the key also like, I think just let him jump and be less. If he can be closer, just let him do it. But I don't think I will chase him too much. But of course I got an inside draw. I won't be too far back. Yeah.
He's come a long way in a short space of time. Is he a horse that's still getting better and better with racing?
I think so, because only young horses, and I think he keep improving. He handled the work, and you can see when I run on him, he finished really well. So I still think he can keep improve.
And Ricky, you've made quite a team. He's been good to you putting you on Dragon Joy, and must have been a huge thrill to win on Straight Aaron last weekend.
Wow, I can't thank Ricky Eustace stable. They work really good, and thanks Ricky give me a good support this season, even last season, and so that's what I need to do my best to get the best result for them.
He's a nice horse, Dragon Joy, Paul, but he does have to beat Sky Jewellery.
He does. Look, they put him up 10 points for that win. One of that race, it was one of the lead-ups to the 4-year-old series as such, and as if he was going to look to get into the 4-year-old series, which he didn't. So barrier number 2, so his win was off 60. He's at the 70 rating, but he's going to get the right opportunity from the draw, and I think he's good enough to win off this rating.
Hopefully there's a bit of pace on, because he was a bit keen in running last time out, particularly down the side, and then he was sort of held up briefly at the top of the straight and never ran on after that. But he was sort of one of a few in the race that were right on the cusp of getting in.
Star Mac Tom. He went to Happy Valley. He has a win next to his name now. That was going back 4 starts. He hasn't been too far away following those performances. He has placed over the 1,600 metres, the distance of the race on Sunday.
Yeah, he's had 5 placings from his 9 starts, course and distance, always consistent, sort of a little bit one-dimensional, I guess you could say, with his style of get back, run on. So he'll be also hoping for a bit of pace, but he's in good form, Paul, so we wouldn't want to leave him out because he has been in some good races.
Yeah, he's just won the 1 from 20. That's the problem for me. I mean, he does what he says on the tin. He'll get back, he'll run on. Will he get there in time? We'll see.
We will for sure. Ching was better last time, Paul. He'd drawn a gate, which was something that he hadn't been overly accustomed to. We did see this race prior to the break on the rain-affected track, but he's following Kaholo Angel at this point in the race. The extra 200 metres is always good for him too.
No, it definitely is as well. So, and he's a big horse. He needs a bit of room, which I think he'll get from barrier number 5. And as we say, I'm not sure if the rain-affected track did help him, but on his day, he's pretty good.
You should see the last little bit here, sort of the last 100 metres or so, when he really stuck his neck out and charged through that gap rather to get into that minor position. Hasn't won for a wee while, but not without a chance.
There's the big chestnut, Ching. This horse, Tom, Sky Jewellery, looks very exciting. He was beaten here. He wouldn't run straight. He's still learning. The horse that beat him is very smart. That is Honglock Golf, but he's probably going to be pretty short in the market.
He did heaps wrong this day too, did Sky Jewellery. You can see down the outside there, Bowman's got him to the outside, and then he's just wanting to lay in, and Bowman had to stop riding rather Brenton had to stop riding to straighten up. Hugh Bowman riding this week, of course, but just wanted to keep getting on that one rein, and the rein got a little loose there over the final stages too, but lots of raw ability, Paulie. One, of course, at Happy Valley at his debut, and you've got to be a decent horse to do that.
Yeah, definitely. And look, he'll be the shortest price of the afternoon, I think, after that run. And look, they didn't go quick early in that race. And also, the other thing with him was he was 3 or 4 wide the whole way.
It's arguably a less stronger Class 3 this week.
I think Hong Kong Golf is a decent horse in his own right. And they were well clear of anything else.
On to Flying Luck here, Paul. He was able to win last time. He'd been unlucky and costly at starts prior to this. He had won. It's not his first win, but he comes up with barrier 13, and it's his first look in Class 3. Yeah,
everything needs to go right for this horse because just the way of his racing style, he gets back and has found trouble on numerous occasions. Saying that, he's got plenty of ability. It was a nice enough win. He's got to come up and do it in Class 3.
Yeah, certainly does. But I think the lightweight gives him a chance here to do that. He'll be looking for a bit of luck as well from that sort of draw, but that's normally his racing style. He sort of goes back beyond midfield. But he's been in good form and he kept some consistent runs off with that nice win there.
Luck is back. Tom had his first go on the turf in Hong Kong and had no luck from the draw of 14 last time. His first 3 starts since arriving were all on the all-weather. He draws barrier number 1, and this is a Chung Fa trial. That's Flamingo Trillion on his outside.
Yeah, so he led up in this trial up at Chung Fa on the dirt. He had some dirt form overseas as well. Was just niggled at a little bit over the final stages. His best run here was first up behind Self Improvement on the all-weather over the 1,200 metres, and then he went straight to 1650 and never landed a blow at all. So happy to watch here off that trial.
Yeah, same. I'm happy to watch and wait till he gets back on the all-weather for me.
Bringing out the bling.
Yeah, look, I think Sky Jewelry, he picks himself here. I think he's got one with the most upside in this race. I'm going to put Torbjorn Prince in for second because he's going to get that lead in front. He'll be out of trouble. Dragon Joy with the good draw. And we'll put the Absolute in as well. He's got a really good turn of foot finish. He's had that little track work incident, but he comes in with 114 pounds. No weight on his back. 92813.
Sky Jewellery, the one to beat, just as green. Racing Manners was the thing that cost him last time out. Sky Jewellery. Starmac, I think, has got something to say here in this race. Flying Luck, and I'll give Torbjorn Prince a chance here off the front. Dropping in grade, a 4-time winner in the grade. Yet to win course and distance. Has won 14, has won 1650, but will go forward and put himself into the race. 9, 3, 10 and 2.
And all of the races available on the website for preview, hkjc.com. Click on audio and video. But your best bet for Sunday, Paul?
Yeah, horse only had the one start. A horse called Dazzling Fit. Did a lot of things wrong on debut. Got really well, shuffled all the way back. Since then, he's had this trial. I thought it was a very good trial from him. He won with plenty in hand coming down the outside. And you can see him there in those blue colours. This will be his second start. He would have learned a lot from that debut run. And I think he can win earlier in the card. So it will make him the best. You can see him just going to the post nice and easy, winning that trial. And the value with the Boombox being in the race, hopefully Superb Boy comes up a double-figure price. He'll probably be third or fourth favourite in that race, but I think the Boombox will be overbet. So he's the value. And the player of the day in race 5 with Flash Current, Star Figure, who's won a recent trial, and Affirm after a freshen up in the QQP.
Best bet Voyage Samurai to try and do it all of the way off the front for Derek Lung, and this horse here out of the Frankie Law stable has a good record course and distance. Drawn barrier 6 will find the front, and they just might find it tough to peg him back here on the B+2 course this weekend. Obviously was beaten by Sunlight Power last time out, but certainly was the best of the rest. He's at the lightweight, 121 pounds. Value times table for Mark Noonan, Ben Thompson, drawn wide, will get back and be running on hopefully like he was last start. And the play with race 3. Bull Attitude for Mark Noonan. He's been trialling well. Dazzling Fit and Top Throne.
The best bet, race 8, number 9, Mr. Cool. First run at Sha Tin, steps to 1,400 metres. Little Squid's done nothing on race day, but had no room last time. Then he was scratched in the race he was supposed to run in. Trial was all right down the straight. And the play race 8, Autumn Vibes, Seamus Storm and Mr. Cool, 579 in a QQP. That has been Sha Tin on Sunday. Tom, we then look ahead to the Valley.
Yes, Hong Kong China Rugby Cup coming up Wednesday night for 9 races there and 11 races, Paul, coming up the next weekend. Yeah,
and look, on Wednesday night, Youthful Spirits is running again. We've seen plenty of him this season up against Colourful King again.
We'll see you at Sha Tin on Sunday, though, for a 12:45 kickoff.